God is not a concept. God is a way of life. I'm coming for you right now. I got to. I said, I was supposed to go upstairs. I've been down here in the studio, but I said, you know what? I'm not going to go to sleep with this word in me, because there's somebody else that can have an appreciation for what I just shared. It's not a concept. It's a way of life. You either believe or you don't. And you have a choice to frame those tears that you're now experiencing with gratitude and hope and expectation that God is still in charge. This is no place for a warrior. This is a place for a warrior. He's checking me, the motivator. And he had me to look at my tears differently. And I'm saying to you, there's something in you. He kept saying that to me. He said, you, when I was going through some tough times, you brought something out of me. I would listen to you when I'm in a dark place and going through some tough experiences. And he began to cry, and I cried with his tears of gratitude and appreciativeness, that I was able to touch him in spite of what he was going through and is going through with muscular dystrophy, but he has not allowed that to control his life. He said to me, the motivator, God is not a concept. It's a way of life. And whatever area of your life that requires some attention, whatever you are dealing with, whatever the pain, the tragedy, the stuff that life catch you on the blind side that you didn't see coming, it's a way of life.
So you prove the stars are here and the stars are there. Whatever, can you get there? Does it matter? I just enjoy looking at them. They're beautiful. It doesn't affect me. None of that affects my path through this realm. Whatever the shape is, wherever it's located, the main thing that affects me on my path through this realm is the emotional state that I'm in, the energetic state that I convey. And the most definite part of this whole journey, the only part of it that is absolutely unavoidable, is exiting the realm. Eventually I'm going to die. We're taught to live our lives in fear of that and to do everything we can to avoid that. But it's going to happen. It's going to happen to everybody at some stage. There's no avoiding it. It's just the way it is. You're going to leave this realm. You're going to leave it. You're going to die one day. The question is, how do you want to spend your time in the realm, and how do you want to exit the realm? Are you prepared to allow yourself to be pushed and pushed and pushed and pushed and cowed, walk around being afraid to talk to anybody and have no life here at all because you're scared of the one part of life which is inevitable, which is going to happen to you anyway? Or would you prefer to just exit the realm now before they do that? You know, and I'm not saying commit suicide or anything like that, but I'm just saying stand in your power and allow whatever happens to happen. Because if everybody did that, we wouldn't have to do any of this. You could turn off your television, shut down your smartphone, turn off the internet, the whole would go away. How many people are prepared to do that? And how many people are prepared to allow themselves to be pushed and squashed and squashed and squashed in order to avoid death, when death is the one part of life which is inevitable?
I could have easily faded down the sideline, running with my guy as the quarterback was dropping back to release the ball. But as I'm running and checking my guy, I see my teammate getting beat. My guy who I told in the tunnel, hey man, if you get beat, I got your back. And I knew my teammate probably would have caught the guy if he would have caught the ball, because my teammate, he went on to be a first round, 10 pick, multi-million-dollar guy, went on to play for the Patriots. So I knew he was a pretty talented guy, and he probably would have caught the guy and tackled him. But I told him, hey man, if you get beat, I got your back. And it just so happened, a play unfolded with a little bit over 2 minutes left in the game to where my guy, now he was getting beat. And I'm fading off on my guy, but I see the quarterback, he was releasing the ball to the guy that was beating my teammate. And I said, man, I gotta go. I gotta have his back. And I go up and I roll up and I go to hit this guy to end the game. This tackle probably would have ended the game if I'd have hit him and caught him the right way. If I'd have hit him and caught him how I really wanted to catch him it probably would have ended the game and I would have made him fumble because I knew the game of football like you guys know the furniture business. I knew it in and out. Like a guy take 2 steps off the line of scrimmage, I could tell you which way he was going. If a guy would cut inside, I could tell you it's only about 3 things he can do out of this formation. Like I knew it in and out. And so I knew if I'd have caught him in the right location at the right time, I'd have popped that ball out. But it didn't work like that. I hit him, and as soon as I hit him, it seemed as if every breath in my body left. I lost control of my body. Never happened to me before. Body went completely limp. Seemed as if every breath in my body left. I'm falling to the ground like, man, what's happening? And I black out. As soon as I hit the ground, I black out. Never happened to me before. I black out. I come back to. My teammates run over to me. Hey, Ink, get up, man. Let's rock. Let's go. So I can't. So what do you mean you can't? You always get up. Get up. Let's roll. So I can't move. So there's a shock going from my neck to my toe. I can't feel anything. Shock eventually left and it stayed in my right arm and hand. I remember as I was lying there, they were bringing the spine board out. They put me up on the spine board, and as they're wheeling me off the field, I looked up to the sky and said, surely nothing has happened in this moment that can alter my life. This is what I love to do. They get me over to the ambulance. They said, man, we're going to take you to the hospital, run some CAT scans. We'll bring you back into your room. We'll tell you what's up. I said, all right, cool. They take me in the room. They run CAT scans. They bring me back into another room. And when they put me into the room in my hospital bed, my mother comes in. She kisses me. She prays for me. And as she's going to walk out, doctors rush in from the opposite side as my mother is walking out. And when my mother told me, son, you'll be all right, there was a certain element of peace attached to it. Because I had been with my mother my whole life. Me and my father, our relationship was pretty much a business relationship. Early years, he wasn't there. When I started playing sports, he came along in the picture, but I needed him to get out of my situation, right? And so we had a business relationship. But when my mother said something to me, I've been rocking with my mother since I was 16. Had missed meals with my mother since she was 16, And so when she said it would be okay, I was like, all right, cool. And as she's going to walk out, doctors running in, they said, hey guys, get in here. We got to rush him back to surgery. He's about to die. I said, it's a new ball game. Like I was a part of the football game, but this is a new game. I said, die? I said, yeah, man, you busted up subclavian artery in your chest. You're bleeding internally. Got to rush you back, take that main vein out of your left leg, plug it into your chest in order to save your life. We don't have much time. Next morning, I wake up from recovery. He said, Inky, I got some good news and some bad news. Good news, we saved your life. I said, thank you. Bad news is you got nerve damage in your right shoulder. I said, all right, cool. So we got to send you up to the Mayo Clinic, Rochester, Minnesota. I said, all right, cool. He said, but the problem is, you know that dream of going to the NFL? I said, yes, sir. I'm close. He said, strong possibility you probably can never play the game of football another day in your life. I said, no way. I said, I don't know if you know how hard I work for this. Like, I don't know if you know, I've been working since I was 7 years old. Like, I didn't start out playing football saying, man, I just want to go to the NFL to make it. Yeah, I wanted to go to the NFL to take care of my family, give back to my community. But the way in which I started playing the game, I started playing in the street, and I would be bloody. My mother didn't even sign me up to play. The first white guy I ever met in my life signed me up to play football. A guy riding down the street in a blue pickup truck. Never forget it. My guy, love him to death. Pulling down the street in a blue pickup truck, pulls on the curb, steps out of his truck, walks up in the middle of our game. I'm standing there bloody, tackling football in the street. Guy walks up, Trey Hurst, never forget it. My uncle's on the corner, they're drug dealers. In prison right now. They take off running. My Uncle Bobo serving 40 years in a federal penitentiary. He looks back, he said, Inky, don't talk to him. He thinking the guy's the cop. Coach Trey, nicest guy in the world. Walks up, he said, man, would you kids like to play football on grass? I said, man, I would love that. He said, go in the house and get one of your guardians. I ran in the house. My Uncle JJ had married into the family. I said, hey, Unc, man, it's a guy outside. Will you please come and talk to him? Uncle said, sure. Uncle comes outside. Coach Trey said, listen. He said, I don't even supposed to be over. He said, I brought a kid home. His mom asked me, could I bring him home? I brought him home. He said, I rode down the street. I see these kids playing football in the street. They're bloody. He said, you could bring them across town. I got a lead. Y'all can sign them up. I think it'll be a great opportunity for them. Uncle said, sir, we greatly appreciate it. Hate to tell you, we don't have the money. And I'm standing in front of him because I really want to play. He said, I hate to tell you, but his mother said she definitely doesn't have the money. She's at work at Wendy's right now. I'll never forget that coach looked at my uncle. He said, I tell you what. He said, y'all bring him to the park. So here's the address. He said, not only will I sign that kid up, I'll sign every kid in this street up. They brought us to the park the next day. He signed every last one of us up, and it changed the trajectory of my life. Yo, the second person I saw in the hospital after they saved my life, that coach that signed me up to play ball when I was 7 years old, crying on my mother's shoulder. Yo, the person my mother called on Christmas when me and my family got robbed, they put a 9mm and a 45 in my face when I was 15 years old. That coach that signed me up to play ball when I was 7 years old. And so what I was telling the doctor was, Doc, I got to give some people a return on their investment. Like, this can't stop right now. Now, I'll never forget, I said to him, I never cheated. I said, I never cheated. I was taught you work for something, the result will be what you want it to be. Like, I never cheated. Like, nobody had to worry about me cutting corners. Like, a coach could give me a workout, I'll go do it. If my teammate would try to cheat, sometimes I'll complete my guy's workout. Like, I never believed in it, right? Because I knew every time I cheated, it was a possibility and an opportunity for me to become weaker. And so I never believed in cheating. I never believed in the mentality behind cutting corners and not facing a challenge. Because I understood if it didn't challenge me, it wouldn't change me. I said, man, send me up to the Mayo. My career can't be over. I worked too hard. And I go up in the Mayo Clinic, and I'll never forget. I walk in the room, and there's 3 doctors. And they come in and they say, hey, Ink, here's the deal. We're going to cut to the chase. They said, you have torn all the nerves in your brachial plexus. I said, what's that? They said, it's the nerve roots that go from your spine that controls your shoulder, your arm, and your hand. I said, it goes into your spine like this. You've ripped them all out. They can't go back in. They said, we hate to tell you, but football career, it's out of you. They said, your shoulder, your arm, your hand, never be the same again. They said, here are your surgery options, Ink. We could take a muscle, back of your left leg, plug it into your right arm, possibility, weak left leg, weak right arm the rest of it. We could take a nerve out of your left arm, reroute it up to your chest, down into your right arm, possibility, 2 weak arms the rest of your life. We could take a nerve out of your left rib, reroute it up to your chest, down into your right arm, possibility, breathing problem, weak right arm the rest of your life. By the way, tell us what you want to do at 8 o'clock in the morning. Next morning, I walked into the office. They said, what option did you choose? I said, no disrespect to you. Cut me where you got to cut me. I guarantee you, if I don't die, I'll be fine. They said, you got to choose an option. I said, no disrespect to you. Cut me where you got to cut me. I guarantee you, if I don't die, I'll be fine. And what I was telling them was, Doc, you got to take my life before you take my drive, man. I'm not a light switch person. Like, I don't turn it on and turn it. Like, I could play you in checkers. I'm going to try to destroy you. Like, I could play you in a game of, little pitch and hold, a little thing. I'm going to try to destroy you. That's just my mentality of just going all in everything that I do. And what I was telling them, you can cut me wherever you got to cut me. If you don't kill me, you will not stop me because I know my mentality and I know the way I'm wired. I don't turn it on and turn it off. But as life would have it, they cut me 6 times down my left thigh. 1 time across the left side of my neck, 1 time across the right side, twice through my right ribs, cut out my right pec, bottom of my armpit, bottom of my hand, 350 staples in my body, bandaged me from my neck to my knees. And they come in my room the next day. They said, Inky, we're going to get to know each other really well. You'll be in this hospital next 40 or 60 days. On the 3rd day, we were leaving the hospital. And as we're leaving and the doors were opening, he said, you broke a record. How did you do it? He said, nobody has ever gotten out of here in under less than 40 days with a surgery of that magnitude. I said, Doc, I just didn't feel as if I had the right. He said, what are you talking about? I had the right. I said, I just didn't feel as if I had the right to stop. Like, I just didn't feel as if I had the right not to show up and give everything out. Like, I just didn't feel as if I had the right to not press forward. Like, I just felt as if the people that I represent and the people that had invested in me and built the gentleman that you see called Inky, it's a lot of people that go into the, like, when they were out there telling me, man, I admire what you've been through. I admire the place you've gotten to in life. And I told them, I said, there was a lot of people that helped me. And I take those spirits with me every day. Like, Maya Angelou has a quote that says, I come as one, but I stand as 10,000.
40,000 or so specialized cells configured in a way that creates a neural network in the heart. It's their brain-like cells, but they're not in the brain, they're in the heart. And it's actually called the little brain in the heart. What they found, what the scientists discovered, is that these cells think independently of the cranial brain. They feel and they remember. And what that means is every experience that we have, even this one right now, I'm registering this experience in 2 places. This is a good experience, so it's not a problem. I'm registering in my cranial mind as well as in my heart. But if we were having a trauma, it would still be registered in both places. And if I tried to heal that trauma only through thinking about it or talking from my mind, it might feel incomplete. The healing may feel incomplete. And the reason is because I've only addressed what happened in here. I haven't addressed what happened in here. And we know this intuitively. I did an experiment a few years ago. Every culture I went to and every age group, I asked little kids, I said, where are you sitting right now? Show me where you're sitting. And people say, I'm sitting right here. They say, right here. Or you ask the indigenous people, where do you live? Well, this is my home. And almost instinctively, we know that the heart is the seat of our existence, the seat of our being. You don't see them hitting their head, or their arm or something else. So when we talk about heart intelligence, what we're talking about is the ability for these neurons to communicate with the neurons in a way that is meaningful to those neurons. These neurons are linked to a wisdom, to an intelligence that is right for us. Mine is right for me, yours is right for you. And any question that you ask this intelligence, it will answer you in a way that will serve you in that moment. It will never tell you to do anything dangerous or anything that would hurt anyone else. I'll give you a perfect example. I was in Australia over 9/11. Couldn't get back into my own country until the flights were flying again. And when they did fly, I was in Sydney, Australia, and there was a Boeing 747, that's a big plane, with fewer than 20 people that were going to come to the U.S. And there was, at the ticket counter, we were at the gate to board, and the agent said, there's so few people, we're not going to board by boarding rows. You can board this plane if you want to and go to America. And I said, well, you don't sound very encouraging. She says, I don't know what happened in that country. She says, but this plane's going to go there. If you want to go there, I don't know if it's going to happen again. I don't know if it's over, but if you want to get on the plane, get on the plane. And really didn't instill a lot of confidence in me or the other people that were there. I said, hold that thought, just wait a minute. And I stepped around the corner, and there's a technique where you can literally, you touch your heart like this. And when you touch your heart, your awareness will always go to the place where you feel the touch.
We are in a race, and it's not a 100-yard dash. It's a marathon. You got to run, not till you get tired, but till you die. You got to work, not until somebody comes to take your place, but work till you die. My body doesn't get the best of me. I got to get the best of it. Faithfulness is not starting and stopping. It's being involved in it even when you don't get any credit for it. Because we can get twice as much done if we quit worrying about who got the credit.
Most of the time today when people say they're on their grind, they overslept, they're laying on the couch and they're eating cereal. That is not what it meant in my day, and that is not what makes people successful. I've seen people who were on their grind. I've seen Steve Harvey's on his grind. I've seen people on their grind. What on the grind really is a work ethic that would blow your mind. It would blow your mind. I'm 60 years old, and everybody who works for me is younger than me, and they'll tell you, I'll work you up under the table.
There's so often times where people, they get told no or they hit an obstacle and it's game over for them. They're just done. They're done training. They're over it. Almost nothing will happen the way you want it to if you don't force it that way, right? You are coming against a powerful force, the enemy, nature, time. There's all kinds of things that are going against you. It's a losing battle. And if you don't use force of will, then you're not going to get it done. You have to be aggressive and make things happen.
I spend all my time building my dreams. So when I get some time, I can live my dream. But people always try to figure out too many ways to have fun along the way. Getting to success ain't fun. It ain't fun, man. I'm telling you right now, it ain't fun at all. Now, when you get there, you can reap some of the fruits of your labor. But on the way to success, it ain't fun. It's a grind. It's a dog grind.
And you've got to resolve within yourself that I can do this, that it's hard. But you've got to say, I'm the one to make this happen. I'm the one to become successful in this business. But you know it's going to be hard, but find out what will make it worth it for you. And if you want to do anything worthwhile in life, you've got to be hungry.
There is an old person down inside of you that's dependent on you to be smart. It's the person you're going to be 30, 40 years from now. Do not disappoint that person by being foolish through the strongest years of your life. And then when your back is out and your knees are swollen and you can't move around, now you're out there going to get your grind on now? It is the message you tell yourself. I'm tired, I can't do that, I don't feel like. We become what we say to ourselves.
What are you doing today, right now, that's gonna matter, that's gonna have value, that's gonna have some meaning? What are you doing today that's gonna be the evidence that you were here, that you're alive, right? How do you know you were here?
You can start to think with an aggressive mindset, which is, I am going to take action. I'm going to overcome obstacles. I'm going to push through roadblocks. I'm not going to take no for an answer. Being aggressive from this perspective isn't how you're acting. Yeah. It's the decisions that you're making. What it means is you need to make things happen.
If you will change, everything will change for you. You don't have to change what's outside. All you've got to change is what's inside. To have more, you simply have to become more. Don't wish it was easier. Wish you were better. Don't wish for less problems. Wish for more skills. Start working on yourself, making these personal changes. I want my craft to get better, my business operations to get better, the things I do to get better. Because once I picked up this simple formula, I'm telling you, it's easy to figure out where the problem is if you go to work on it.
See, most people go through life, without purpose, without passion. They don't wake up on purpose, right? They go through life mechanically, just paying bills, going to work, taking care of the kids. That's all stuff that has to get done, but at the same time, you have to add something else to that. It can't only be about that. What you're doing to get by, what you're doing to stay alive, it can't be about that. There has got to be something. It doesn't have to be big, it can be small. Something that is evidence to you that says, I was here.
If you work hard on your job, you'll make a living. If you work hard on yourself, you can make a fortune. If you would have known me at age 25, you would have said, Jim Rohn's a hard worker. If you'd have known me, you'd have said that. I'm the guy, I don't mind coming a little bit early, staying a little bit late, I don't mind that. You'd have said, well, Jim Rohn's a hard worker. You say, well, how come he's got pennies in his pocket and nothing in the bank and behind on his promises? Well, I was a hard worker, but I was working hard on my job, not on myself.
All right? So find something you want to do, find something you love to do, something that gives you some energy. Go through life with some kind of passion, and that passion is the way you know you're alive, right? You know you're alive, and other people know you're alive too, because when you're living life with that kind of an energy, that kind of an atmosphere, people want to be around you, they want to get close to you, they want to know who you are. Don't live life like a lot of people who go through this thing again mechanically and just like, people who don't know they're alive. Right? You see, and a lot of people don't know they're alive until something happens, until some pain or disappointment shows up. You can go through life feeling alive by doing these kind of things that leave graffiti in your life, right? That leave a mark. That's what you want to do. You want to live that kind of a life.
Make yourself more valuable to the marketplace. I'm telling you, you can so dynamically change your income, and economics is the least of the values that you can start earning in terms of equity. If you'll start working harder on yourself than you do on your job.
What I want you to understand is that inspiration does a lot better when it's coupled with perspiration. There are a whole lot of people, they want to be inspired in great things, but they don't want to do the hard work to achieve those great things. It's not either or, it's both and. Often I have the expression that everything worthwhile is uphill. That's a fact. You've never heard someone that got to the top of the mountain and somebody asked them, how did you get there? Kind of look confused and say, I have no idea. They know how they got there. The reason they know how they got there is because they had to walk all the way up the mountain. Nobody lifted them. There were no shortcuts. There's not an elevator. There's not an escalator. It's all effort that gets you to the top of the mountain. So I really trust today that you will just kind of roll up your sleeves, look at something you haven't tackled for a while, dive in. You'll be amazed that once after you do the work, you get inspired. Don't wait to get inspired before you do the work.
Work hard on yourself and develop the skills. Work hard on yourself and develop the graces. All of the stuff necessary to become more valuable to the marketplace. I'm telling you, your whole life can explode into change. Money, no problem. Economics, no problem. Future, no problem. If you just go to work on the right thing. Not get things out there to change. Don't try to change the seed. Don't change the soil. Don't change the sunshine. Don't change the rain. Don't change the mix of seasons. Let the miracle of everything that's available work for you, and start working on the inside. Work on your philosophy. Work on your attitude. Work on your personality. Work on all of your abilities. And if you'll start making those personal changes, I'm telling you, everything will change for you.
There is no getting around. Ain't no elevator to the top. You got to take the stairs. The elevator don't go to the top, man. Not in the world of success. You got to take the stairs. Y'all got to start getting gritty, man. I hate it when I see young people wasting their time, just sitting around in this world that's been created for you, that everything is instant.
Nothing in the world can take the place of persistence. Talent will not. Nothing is more common than unsuccessful men with talent. Education will not. The world is full of educated derelicts. The slogan, "Press on," has solved and will always solve the problems of the human race.
Everybody is 24 hours. What's most important is managing yourself, what you do with your time. All of us are basically the same. The only difference is how you use your time. I know people who have a lot of talent in specific areas, and the difference between them and other people is the time that they put in. The people that are going to come out on top, the people that are going to make an impact, the people that are going to achieve their goals are the people who are mindful on how they use their time.
We all ask why we should work this hard. Why take that many classes? Why go to school that many years? You know, why take the notes? Why read the books? Why work that hard? Why put yourself through the push-ups and the disciplines? Why? Good question, why? Best answer to why, I think, is the second question. Why not?
If normal is getting on your nerves, then you got to change something. Being mediocre was driving me crazy. Poverty, I was sick of it.
So learn from your personal experience. Second, other people's experiences. That's me, other people. That's your teacher.
And what that junk DNA really is epigenetics. Now, it's just a fancy word for we respond to our environment, and more aptly, we respond to stress in our environment.
You can protect yourself from negativity. And that's what stops most people, negative thoughts. You can coat your mind from negativity. It's a real simple exercise to do. I do it every morning before I walk out the door. So I walk out as a positive person. You know, I get tired sometimes. That's different from being negative, because I get mentally drained from my job at times. But to coat your mind from negativity, the way you can put a coating around your mind is with one simple thing: gratitude. Gratitude erases negativity. I'm gonna show you how this works. If you wake up in the morning and you start having negative thoughts, man, this ain't my day. I woke up on the wrong side of the bed. I'm tripping, I just don't feel myself. Every time you feel, in the middle of the day, if you feel yourself doing that, stop, just stop for a second.
That's your friends, colleagues, the people you meet that can pass along to you their experiences, what's happened to them, the mistakes they made, how they corrected them, how they changed their health, changed their bank account, changed their income, and changed their future. Other people. Now, there are two kinds of people to learn from. One is failures. It's too bad failures don't give seminars, right? That would be valuable. Have them tell you how they lost it all and threw it all away, threw their health away, and threw their friendships away, and things didn't work out well. That would be valuable. But now then, we must also learn from positive people that have done well. They've got the health, and so we ask them, how did you become so healthy? They've got the skills, so we ask them, how did you become this skillful? They've got the income, so we ask them, how did you get here in such a short period of time?
And start going over in your mind everything you have to be grateful for. Not everything you want, everything you already have, because what you have is substantial. You just haven't gone over the list and taken inventory in a long time. But the fact that you can walk, that's a blessing. The fact that you woke up, that's another blessing. The fact that you can see, think, reason, that's another blessing. The fact that you can go somewhere and get yourself something to eat, that's another blessing. The fact that you can go and turn the key and call someplace home, that's another blessing. The ability to dream is a blessing. The fact that you have an opportunity to get it right is another blessing. The fact that you're beautiful, that's another blessing. The fact that you have any measure of health, that's another blessing. And I'm just talking to you, I don't even know you. I could give you 50 things you ought to be grateful for right now. I don't even know you.
So now here's what's important in personal development. In learning from other people, we learn, number one, by observation. We learn what we see, we watch people that are successful in what they do. In sports, we watch their disciplines. In business, we watch their disciplines. Second, we learn by what we hear. Learn by listening. And then listen to the sermon on Sunday morning. Listen to the lecture. Listen to the teacher. Listen to someone who's got something good to say. And then number three is vitally important on personal development, and that is read all the books. All the books you can possibly read in your lifetime. Mr. Schoaf got me started on my library. I've got one of the better libraries. And then I started keeping a journal. One of the major things my teacher taught me was to keep a journal. He said, don't trust your memory. If you hear something good, just make a little note and write it down. So I would suggest you do the same.
Anybody ever seen a professional bodybuilder? No? Okay. A professional bodybuilder hardly looks human to me. It's unbelievable what they're able to do, but they show in a very real and tangible way what you can do to the human body when you understand how to put it under stress. Now, if you've ever been to the gym, you know that the real money is in tearing the muscle down, not building it up. You actually build up the muscle while you're sleeping based on what you've eaten. So the act of bodybuilding, of actually going into the gym, is an act of tearing down so that you can create the stress so that your body can respond. Now, if you remember nothing else from my talk, remember this: humans are the ultimate adaptation machine.
When you get a thought that's not your thought, stop letting that thought just take control. It doesn't belong there. Anything that's not in alignment with your dreams and your goals, let it go. And so you're going to stop in the middle of the day with your phone, and you're going to put your earphones on, and you're going to listen to whatever you listen to, and you're going to take 5 minutes, 10 minutes, however long it takes, and you're going to get out of that funk. Okay, how many of y'all, you get into a funk sometime? Let me see your hand, be honest. How many of you get into a funk for more than like you let it just take the whole day? Just be honest. Stop. We're going to do a 5-minute funk. I'm just being real. That's it. That's our rule for the new year. 5-minute funk. That's it. And after that 5 minutes, it's over. And during the 5 minutes, we're going to stop it. So we might stop it at 2, we might stop it at 3, but by 5, it's stopped. What would your life look like if you only listen to your voice and you use your inner energy to help you to become successful? What would it look like?
Just by being human, each and every one of you is capable of great change. Who you are today does not predict who you can become. Who you can become is the answer to a very simple question. What do you want? And what price are you willing to pay to get there? What do you want? And what price are you willing to pay to get there? Kobe Bryant, one of the greatest athletes of our time, would show up on game day, and if he saw anybody else at the gym as early as him, even though he was always the first on the court, he would end up practicing longer than that person. And I had the honor of interviewing one of those people one time, and he said, I went up and asked Kobe, we have a game in an hour. Like, what are you doing out here practicing so long? And Kobe said, I needed you to know that I was willing to outwork you.
Now, let me ask you this. How many of you have listened to other people's voice? You listen to it. Let me see your hand. You literally listen to other people's voice. Hands down. How's that worked out? I'm just being real. Here's what's crazy. It don't even work and you still doing it. Like, it doesn't even work. Like, it don't even help you, but you still doing it. You know why? Because you're more concerned about how they feel about you than how you love yourself. And you got a love problem, you need to fix it. You don't love yourself, and you need to fix that. Why? Because you're concerned about what they think. They're not even you. And so we're gonna fix our thinking. We're going to channel our energy, and this is gonna be the best year of our life. Does that make sense? All right, today is all about you. This is all about you. All right? I'm gonna watch some tape later, and I'm gonna get some of this stuff for myself. So I love when CJ come up and Josh come up, because I get to learn. And we got a powerful second day for you. I love y'all so much that I think it was 2018. I heard, okay, so do me a favor. Stop being deep and take everything you learn and use it.
And in that game, they ended up winning. And that lesson stuck with that guy forever. When you're willing to put in the work, when you're willing to take control of your environment and put yourself through the stressors required for adaptation, you literally can become anything. And my life is proof of that. So I stand here as one of the founders of a company called Quest Nutrition that we took from not existing to being valued over $1 billion 5 years later. Thank you. That was the guy whose mother, not too long before that, just quietly assumed he was going to fail at college. But what I began to understand is that I could harness that ability to adapt.
What are you doing today, right now, that's going to matter, that's going to have value, that's going to have some meaning? What are you doing today that's going to be the evidence that you were here, that you're alive, right? How do you know you are here?
You're in a race, and it's not a 100-yard dash. It's a marathon. You got to run, not till you get tired, but till you die. You got to work, not until somebody comes to take your place, but work till you die. My body doesn't get the best of me. I got to get the best of it.
Nobody ever won a Nobel Prize hating what they did. You have to find something in life you enjoy. Experiment, find something you love doing. If you love doing it, and if you work at it and you persist. And so I try to remind people, you should figure out, what are you doing on the face of the earth? How are you making the earth slightly better than the place you were born into?
See, most people go through life, without purpose, without passion. They don't wake up on purpose, right? They go through life mechanically, just paying bills, going to work, taking care of the kids. That's all stuff that has to get done. But at the same time, you have to add something else to that. It can't only be about that. What you're doing to get by, what you're doing to stay alive. That can't be about that. There has got to be something. It doesn't have to be big. It can be small. Something that is evidence to you that says, I was here.
If you will change, everything will change for you. You don't have to change what's outside. All you've got to change is what's inside. To have more, you simply have to become more. Don't wish it was easier. Wish you were better. Don't wish for less problems. Wish for more skills. Start working on yourself, making these personal changes. And he said it'll all change for you. I'm still going for it. I want to get better and better. I want my craft to get better, my business operations to get better, the things I do to get better. Because once I picked up this simple formula, I'm telling you, it's easy to figure out where the problem is if you go to work on it.
So find something you want to do, find something you love to do, something that gives you some energy. Go through life with some kind of passion, and that passion is the way you know you're alive. You know you're alive, and other people know you're alive too, because when you're living life with that kind of an energy, that kind of an atmosphere, people want to be around you, they want to get close to you, they want to know who you are.
Faithfulness is not starting and stopping. It's being involved in it even when you don't get any credit for it. Because we can get twice as much done if we quit worrying about who got the credit. I'm not looking for credit, I'm looking for a reward.
If tomorrow wasn't promised, what would you give for today? Forget everything else. Forget everything else. Forget that there was any sunlight left. What would you spend today thinking about? We get one opportunity in life, one chance in life to do whatever you're gonna do, to lay your foundation, to make whatever mark you're gonna make, whatever legacy you're gonna leave your legacy. And it's found through effort. Wins and losses come a dime a dozen. But effort, nobody can judge effort. Because effort is between you and you. Effort ain't got nothing to do with nobody else.
There's so often times where people, they get told no or they hit an obstacle and it's game over for them. They're just done. They're done training. They're over it. Almost nothing will happen the way you want it to if you don't force it that way. right? You are coming against a powerful force, the enemy, nature, time. There's all kinds of things that are going against you. It's a losing battle. And if you don't use force of will, then you're not going to get it done. You have to be aggressive and make things happen.
Don't live life like a lot of people who go through this thing again mechanically and just like, people who don't know they're alive, right? You see, and a lot of people don't know they're alive until something happens, until some pain or disappointment shows up. But you can go through life feeling alive by doing these kind of things that leave graffiti in your life, right? That leave a mark. That's what you want to do. You want to live that kind of a life.
Start and not change? Start and not become more valuable? Hey, the whole scenario of life is to start, number one, and what? Become more valuable, number two. Make yourself more valuable to the marketplace. I'm telling you, you can so dynamically change your income, and economics is the least of the values that you can start earning in terms of equity if you'll start working harder on yourself than you do on your job. Work hard on yourself and develop the skills. All of the stuff necessary to become more valuable to the marketplace. I'm telling you, your whole life can explode into change. Promotions, no problem. Becoming more valuable to the company, I'm telling you, no problem. Money, no problem. Economics, no problem. Future, no problem. If you just go to work on the right thing. Not get things out there to change. Don't try to change the seed. Don't change the soil. Don't change the sunshine. Don't change the rain. Don't change the mix of seasons. Let the miracle of everything that's available work for you, and start working on the inside. Work on your philosophy. Work on your attitude. Work on your personality. Work on the gift of communication. Work on all of your abilities. And if you'll start making those personal changes, I'm telling you, everything will change for you.
You can start to think with an aggressive mindset, which is, I am going to take action. I'm going to overcome obstacles. I'm going to push through roadblocks. I'm not going to take no for an answer. Being aggressive from this perspective isn't how you're acting. Yeah. It's the decisions that you're making. What it means is you need to make things happen.
While most people spend most of their lives struggling to earn a living, a much smaller number seem to have everything going their way. Instead of just earning a living, the smaller group is busily working at building and enjoying a fortune. Everything just seems to work out for them. And here sits the much larger group, wondering in awe on how life can be so unfair, complicated, and unjust. So what's the major difference between the little group with so much and the larger group with so little? Despite all the factors that affect our lives, like the kind of parents we have, the schools we attended, the part of the country we grew up in, none has as much potential power for doing good as the ability to dream. Dreams are a projection of the kind of life we want to lead. Dreams can drive you. Dreams can make you skip over obstacles. When we allow our dreams to pull us, they unleash a creative force that can overpower everything in our way. To unleash this power, though, your dreams must be well defined. A fuzzy future has little pull power. Well-defined dreams are not fuzzy. Wishes are fuzzy. To really achieve your dreams, to really have your future plans pull you, your dreams must be vivid.
Most people think that happiness comes out of being successful or having good health, when in fact the reverse is true. Happiness is not something that's earned or deserved. Happiness is simply a state of mind by which our thinking is positive a good share of the time. If you wait until you feel deserving of having pleasant thoughts about your life, you'll end up convincing your subconscious that you're undeserving of happiness. And the result is you'll be unhappy and unsuccessful in most of your undertakings. It's not selfish or wrong to be happy, regardless of where you are in life. So be happy. Happiness is a means to an end, success and well-being. And it's also an end in and of itself that we all desire. Happiness is not something that happens to you. It's something that you cultivate, that you determine and control. If you're waiting for happiness to happen to you, you're going to have a long wait. Instead, leapfrog to it right now. How do you do that? Well, it's really very simple. By being and acting happy, even when you're not. It's what all winners do. and it's what you should do, and do it now.
Right? If you want to solve your problems, you got to learn. If you want to take advantage of an opportunity, you got to learn. Never let it be said you didn't learn. Develop your own personal philosophy here. Philosophy, major determining factor in how your life works out. Each person's philosophy is like the set of the sail. The same wind blows on us all. The difference in where we arrive at the end of the week, at the end of the month, at the end of the year is not the wind that blows. And the wind is blowing around the world. The world is in solution. Things are a-changing. The walls have come down. All kinds of things are happening. In Russia today, the winds are blowing. But what's going to make the major difference? Each person's personal philosophy that sets a better sail, sets a better sail. So don't ask for a more favorable wind. That's like wishing something that's not going to occur. Don't ask for better seed and soil. All you got's what's available. Don't curse what you got. On this planet, all we got's the seed that's here, the soil that's here, the miracle of life that's here, the opportunity that's here, the seasons that are here. That's all we got. Wherever you've come from in your country, the economy you got, that's all you got. The key is to set a better sail and turn what you've got into the miracle of your future. Don't wish it was easier. Wish you were better. Don't wish for less problems. Wish for more skills.
If we were to send out our desires intensely, to visualize them until our very mentalities vibrated with the things we long for, and to work persistently in their direction, we would attract them. Everywhere there are disappointed men and women who have soured on life because they could not get what they longed for: a musical or art education, the necessary training for authorship, for law or medicine, for engineering, or for some other vocation to which they felt they had been called. They are struggling along in an uncongenial environment, railing at the fate which has robbed them of their own. They feel that life has cheated them, when the truth is they have cheated themselves. They never got the spindle and distaff ready that would have drawn them to the flax for the spinning of a happy and complete life web. They did not insistently and persistently send out their desires and longings. They did not nurse them and positively refuse to give them up. Above all, they did not put forth their best efforts for their realization.
Decide what you want and act as if it was already yours. Now, the reason we can act thinking that it's already ours is because not only can we vision the end results, we can also vision the beginning of making it real.